You're at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's from Matt, who says, rant about the band Woods of Ypres. Woods of Ypres was a fairly interesting, kind of experimental black metal band. They very much come from the hipster black metal subgenre, I guess, as people are has retroactively dubbed it. But they're one of the earlier bands in this cluster, similar to like Agaloch or oh god, like Krallis and stuff like that, but not as bleak or dark. Woods of Ypres is a band who kind of takes the song structures and sonic palette of black metal, but then infuses it with sort of like, I guess, different atmospheres. They're not really going for that same like bleak rawness. A lot of their songs are a little bit more straightforward or have like lyrics that are more emotional than I think is typical of black metal. It's less like nihilistic and more human in a way. Um, their first EP, I think, is the one that's like, fuck, what's it called? It's got a long ass title. It's like some cold winter songs for the summer heat or something like that. Like they were very much about this idea that their songs were made for like certain seasons, or that they were trying to capture like a certain essence, because like most black metal is just frigid cold music. It's mostly about like winter, the north, stuff like that. Woods of Ypres is from Canada. They're from the north. They're from Ontario, and like they have that like it's like they were attracted to the genre for the fact that it's cold, but they were trying to deliberately make a sound that would represent other temperatures and like times of year than just the winter and the cold. It's strange, their approach, but yeah, their first EP, uh mostly I know it for the song A Meeting Place and Time, which is an 8-minute dirge about a relationship that is basically fatalized by not so much distance as the two people never organizing a meetup. Like every time they're supposed to meet, one of them ends up not showing up. It's basically a song about getting blown off, I guess, and realizing that you're at the end of it. Like you can't take it anymore. You know, and I made an AMV of it once, set to the movie 5 centimeters per second. I think it's tonally very similar to that movie, but that's one of my favorite songs of all time. I think it's a phenomenal song. The rest of the EP, I honestly don't even remember. Their next album after that was more of a like winter centric album, but it has songs like Your Ontario Town is a Burial Ground, which is literally about like living in a small town in Ontario where nobody really has any serious ambition, and most people just end up kind of living their lives quietly and doing the same old shit, and like how it, escaping from there was what like allowed the lyricists to like find life for themselves, like escaping from this deadbeat town. I love that song just like conceptually. It's more of a, again, like a straightforward rock structure of a song, less of like the big epic, structureless black metal style, but still while having a lot of those keynotes. So I haven't really listened to a lot of the band's later music. I mean, I think they had like 4 or 5 albums. I've only really heard stuff from the first 2. What little I had heard here and there didn't really grab me. I mean, again, I was never like a huge fan of any of their releases all the way through. They're more like a band that occasionally had a song that I'd be like, wow, that's a great song. But then the other stuff I didn't really care about. But like, I think one of the main members of the band died a few years back, and I think they pretty much called it quits after that. So, yeah, I don't know if they've tried to reform or anything. Haven't really kept track, but if you are interested in hipster metal, I would highly recommend A Meeting Place and Time. One of my favorite songs. Good shit.